Right now, it's difficult to understand how much human trafficking we really have. We conclude that it is probably underreported. It is, we base that on our research that we did, and there's a lot of really good research here in cooperation with our universities to find out what we do know and what we don't know and what we might need to do as we go forward. That being said, I want to assure you that this is really a problem. If you look nationally and internationally, you see a lot of data, $32 billion problem, and that's the criminal enterprise that is growing very, very rapidly. We have millions upon millions of people trafficked in sex trafficking and in labor trafficking. It is prevalent in Michigan. As you know, you can look on your media. I'll just give you two really close examples. The last FBI sweep in 2013 revealed that in a 76-city, 3-day sweep, East Michigan, Detroit, had the largest number of pimps arrested, and we had the second largest number of victims recovered. If you look at the latest data that deals with the Super Bowl, you will again see this issue of human trafficking revealed. And within those victims recovered, the children, you will see children that were listed on the list of missing and exploited children.
It's ginned up when you have events such as the NCAA Final Four, the North American Auto Show, even Art Prize. There's increased traffic for trafficking, and it's unfortunate, but it's where people happen to congregate, they recognize opportunities. And as a legislator, when you're talking about a $32 billion industry, that's all tax-free. You're subsidizing it with your taxes, and they're paying nothing, not to mention the harm that's inflicted on the individual being trafficked. It's been a privilege for me as the person who's heading up the trafficking legislation in the Senate to have every one of these folks at this table be part of our committee and our committee structure and testify in front of our committee. And Carol's absolutely right. We are focused on the survivors. We are focused on those individuals who need to have us put in place the tools to go after the perpetrators. And my interest, frankly, was piqued by this very book about a girl in suburban Michigan. And a friend of mine who's a military veteran I've worked on legislation with before dropped this book off at my house. And prior to really looking into this and examining it, my stereotypical impression of trafficking was international. It was perhaps in the Ukraine, and certainly not in rural Michigan. And from all the accounts that we've heard, there is no one clear face of what a trafficker looks like in Michigan, and there's no one clear face about what a survivor or a victim looks like either.
The stories we hear on 2020 and 60 Minutes about trafficking victims are largely white middle-class girl from the burbs who got lured away on Facebook. And yes, that happens about 25% of the time, 25-30% of the time. The other 70% are children of color from poverty. That story is not being told effectively. When we hear about human trafficking, we think of the movie Taken, right? First off, who lets their 16-year-old daughter go to France alone? That's it. That's the face we see. So the face of human trafficking is an upper middle class white girl in popular culture. It's not the reality for the bulk of it. Yeah, again, yes, it happens, and yes, it's equally horrible. It is not the bulk of the children. We need to pay attention to that. So your involvement in human trafficking is being a good neighbor, engaging in the reality that human trafficking is a symptom of a bunch of other cultural ills, poverty being chief among them. Engaging that conversation is incredibly important when we're talking about ending trafficking.
I myself am a survivor of the world's most lucrative and deadliest game, sexual exploitation. At the age of 15 years old, instead of having slumber parties and playing with friends, I was coerced into the life of prostitution right here in Grand Rapids. I was seen as a 15-year-old as a 15-year-old prostitute, not a 15-year-old prostituted child. I have been free from the life since 2000 and vowed to do everything in my power to be heard and also help in freeing the others who find themselves trapped with no way out. I was hired by the Grand Rapids Police Department, imagine that, in the year 2003 for my expertise in the field of working with prostituted women and mentoring young girls. In the year 2003, when I was hired by the Grand Rapids Police Department, who better than go in the streets and talk to these women? Who better than go into drug houses and talk to these women? Who better to track pimps than me? Who better to go back into the underworld than me?
I'm just calling to you from the deepest recesses of my mommy heart. I'm just a mom. And no, I don't look cool in the red light district, but I take cool looking people, and then I'm the mommy that steps into their life. I'm the sister. I'm the circle of protection. I'm that unconditional person that says, you know what? I will be there for you come hell or high water. And it's not a 2-day, 2-week, 2-year program. It's for life, because you're family now. And that's what it takes. It takes a commitment to never give up on these people, because everybody gives up on them. You want to be different? Never give up on them. Never. You would never give up on your own children. So we must do for them what we would do for our own. So I'm just calling on you to use your voice, use whatever career you're walking in, whatever passions, skills, and gifts you already have to step into this issue and be an abolitionist and set the captive free.